Today is Friday, August 12th, 2016, and this is Generally Trivial.
Welcome to Generally Trivial, a conversation on the lighter side of current events.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Generally Trivial. This is Jeff. It's a little bit of a different episode this week. It's us kind of catching up, catching our breath a little bit, giving us a chance to take a break. As our normal recording time is every other Friday fortnightly, I'm actually in Indy with a pastor and author that I'm a big fan of and listening to him, Jonathan Martin. And the other guys, I don't really know what they're doing. I'm assuming watching the Olympics because it seems like that's what everybody's doing. We are going to still cover a few things. We're going to have a Haikupalooza. We've got several people who send in haikus. We'd always be happy to take you guys in. If you have a haiku about a current event, as long as it's nothing too political, we'd be happy to take it and play it. You can send that into generallytrivial@gmail.com. And we're going to go ahead into a quick Did You Hear?
Hey,
Did you hear?
did you hear about this one?
Did you hear?
Did you hear about this one?
So instead of the normal Did You Hear, where it's us guys kind of talking about some stories going on, I'm just going to bring to you a few stories that have kind of caught my ear, so to speak, and are pretty interesting. Everyone's kind of seen Michael Phelps with the Olympics going on, that sweet, angry, grumpy face that he had going on. There's actually a dude, and he got a tattoo of that to commemorate that. He said that he wasn't even a big Phelps fan before this, and he's not really a swim fan. But just seeing him go out and win the way he has been inspiring to me. So, I guess that's, if you're going to get a tattoo, it's a pretty good reason to get one. This one comes to us from Florida Man on Twitter. As you guys know, we're big fans of stories from gentlemen in Florida who just can't seem to get things rolling the right way. A man has been forbidden by a judge from ordering pizza from restaurants. That doesn't seem like that's something the judge would have power to do, but it actually seems like it's something he should have power to do, because the gentleman's been investigated since June, when several pizza delivery places started reporting phone calls. Over a 3-week time frame, cops said that the man made orders and refused to pay, and he started sending the drivers to fake or empty locations, and then he would call different restaurants and say that he hated their food. He started harassing them, and basically got counts of theft because he was collecting the pizza and not paying. He was refusing to pay. So it says that the defendant shall refrain from calling any pizza establishment and or making any harassing calls, or his bond shall be revoked. So that's pretty harsh. I mean, obviously being behind bars would be a pretty tough thing, but I'm going to say that not being able to get pizza is probably a solid number 2, like worst punishments you could have. I mean, DiGiorno's great, especially the stuffed crust. I mean, dude, the stuffed crust, once you have the DiGiorno stuffed crust, you're not going to go back to the regular DiGiorno, I'm sorry. If you haven't had it yet, you really need to try it. But still, even as sweet as that is, not being able to order your own pizza from other places, that's terrifying. All right, and our last story comes to us from a listener who sent us an email in with this story, which is really cool. Mike Henready said that he was a fan of the show, and we really appreciate you listening, Mike. We're still a pretty new show, kind of figuring our footing out here and kind of where we're going and figuring out the ropes. Sometimes I don't always nail the editing, as last week can show, And sometimes we don't always have everything quite the way we want it to go, but we're trying to get better. I think we've improved a lot. But Mike, thanks for sending this in. This story is about a man named Leroy Black, who unfortunately passed away at 55 due to lung cancer. It's never, exactly a good thing when somebody passes away. But a lot of times in the obituaries, you can find a little bit of hope, a little bit of insight, hopefully, into what the man or woman was who passed away. You can sometimes kind of see who it is that they left behind and what those people meant to them, what size of family they had. And this gentleman had an obituary in the Friday's Press of Atlantic City. And he had a death notice saying that he was survived by his wife, Barrietta Harrison Black, his son Jazz, and 2 other children from a different relationship. The problem with this is that below that was another obituary with a notice that incorporates a nickname for him, Blast. It makes no mention of Black's wife, which you'll see why in just a moment, but does say that he is survived by his son Jazz, 6 siblings, and a longtime girlfriend, Princess Hall. So the paper ran both of these obituaries literally one on top of the other. Luckily, at least the wife's was first, but still, that's a slap in the face. She also said that he passed away of cancer due to fiberglass exposure. But the funeral home spokesman said that they were both necessary because the wife wanted it one way and the girlfriend wanted it another way, which I guess kind of is how it goes. But man, that is rough stuff. But Mike, like I said, we appreciate you sending that story in. We appreciate you listening. If you guys are out there listening and want to send something in, we'd be happy to take that in on email, generallytrivial@gmail.com, or we'd be happy to talk with you on the Facebook page as well. If you are listening on iTunes, we'd really appreciate a review, even if it's not the most glowing review. Every review helps us kind of get found, and so we appreciate that. But this episode, we're really going to kind of focus on haikus, current event haikus, and that's what we're going to head into next. Swims in a dumpster. Shouldn't have to be a law. Philadelphia.
I am an artist. Some of us are really cool. Some don't shave their legs.
Faster than a shark. Blowing away competition. KT Ledecky. For those of you who don't know, the last VCR was just produced. Now, they may come out with one in a few years as kind of a retro thing, but the last one set for standard production was just produced. And so for that, we have a haiku. VCR, no more. DVDs, soon gone also. Please be kind. Rewind. Mike was also nice enough to send us in a haiku about the Olympics.
Hey guys, this is Mike Henready. I'm a big fan of the show. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, but I'm an over-the-road truck driver, so I travel all over the country. Anyway, this is my haiku for the Summer Olympics. Rio Olympics, dirty water and Zika, can't wait for football. Thanks guys, keep up the good work.
My 3 haikus for Generally Trivial by Ryan Metzger. Too Good To Go app. Leftover restaurant foods. For self or homeless.
That is, of course, involving the app that they just came out with in order to find food that was left over and make use of it. So that's a pretty cool idea.
U.S. Gymnastics. Women win gold all round. Yay, Gabby Douglas. This one I really like because it actually tags into my childhood. So, Hook, 25 years. Lost Boys are reunited. There you are, Peter. Thank you.
NFL starts soon. Tom Brady is suspended. Best 4 games ever.
Hey Jeff, just wanted to talk today about the Olympics. And I know it's a major topic going on in the world, which is kind of, it's a good thing, obviously. Lots of people are coming together and many people are enjoying themselves. But I want to take a minute and talk about the U.S. team, the swim team, and specifically Michael Phelps. So I've got a haiku about Michael Phelps. Beast moding Rio, winning yet another gold, none but Michael Phelps. Anyways, that's my haiku, and thanks for having me, and we'll talk to you next time.
August. Humid wind stifles, overcast steamy sky blooms. Smile, accept the day.
I'm Oliver, and this is Haiku Review. I couldn't write one, too much I wanted to say, so the squad gets 5. If you like Will Smith, he's entertaining and fun, but he's no Deadshot. Jared is no Heath. Don't compare to Nicholson. He's original. Margot stole the show. Easily best part of squad. Can't wait to see more. More fun than others. Don't listen to critics' hype. I give it a 7.
Emotions run high. Life is hard when you make art. Sometimes you do drugs.
We also have a few haikus sent in by Jordan's brother, Evan. He wrote them in, so I'm going to read them here. First bag on the moon. NASA mistakenly sells. Tries to reclaim rights. So apparently, there was a bag that was used on the lunar landing, and NASA accidentally sold that, so that's not good. And then there is a cash-strapped drinker who left his clothes in the pub. Pub goer can't pay. Used clothes as collateral. Searches nude for cash. Finally, we have a few segments covering different parts of the entertainment world. We had Shawn, who was in the middle of GenCon in Indy recently, and he's going to give us his thoughts. And then after that, we are going to go to Bill with his tech review. He's going to be talking about the new game, No Man's Sky, which sounds pretty fantastic. So I'll let those guys tell you what's up.
Hey everybody, this is Shawn Sanquinetti, and today I'm going to tell you about my weekend at GenCon 2016. For those of you who don't know, GenCon is a gaming convention held in Indianapolis, Indiana every year. Known as the best 4 days in gaming, it is the largest convention of its kind in the United States and second largest in the entire world only to Essen. This year there were over 60,000 unique attendees and over 202,000 total attendance over the 4 days of the event. The convention celebrates all types of games, but specializes mostly in board games, card games, and role-playing games. Game publishers from all over the world gather in Indianapolis to sell their best games, showcase their new ones, and even give you a sneak peek at some of the games that they will be releasing soon. A lot of the games featured here are games like Catan, Magic, Legendary is there, a lot of games like that. So you're not going to find your Clues and your Monopolies. There are versions of those games available there, but this isn't your grandparents' games. These are for the newer, more nuanced board game lovers. As far as my experience this year at GenCon 2016, GenCon's always the best part of my year, and these 4 days were no exception. The best game I played was Galaxy Truckers. An amazing game. You build a truck, you're trying to fly it through space, you run into meteors, you run into pirates, you can pick up cargo, and depending on how well you build your ship, determines how well you get through all these different situations. It's an amazing game, a lot of fun, up to 4 players. There are expansions that make it more, I think up to 5. I highly recommend this game. We also played a lot of Dungeons & Dragons, about 12 hours worth. Love Dungeons & Dragons. It's been mentioned on the show that I'm a fan before. I played a Dragonborn cleric this time around, and unfortunately at the end of our campaign, we may have unleashed terrible evil upon the world. So not exactly a successful campaign as far as that goes, but a successful campaign in regards to having a lot of fun. Another big bonus of GenCon is playing in the games library. You can go in there and check out games and play them. We played a game called Blood Rage, which is a very popular Viking-themed game right now. That was also a lot of fun. I also highly recommend it. Just a very good time. You can play with multiple players. A lot of fun. Goes very deep into Norse mythology and Viking type things. It's a lot of fun. Also, we wanted to get our hands on a copy of Legendary Firefly, but we were unable to do that. It unfortunately was sold out by the time we went to look for it, and we did get to see some people playing the game and talk to them a little bit about the mechanics and things, and it seems like a genuinely good time, and anything Firefly I'm on board for, so there's always that. GenCon also features things for cosplayers and things of that nature. There's a parade that they have in a costume contest. You can see them walking all around. It's a great environment for cosplay. You see a lot of really cool costumes, a lot of not so great costumes, but you can always appreciate people taking their time to show something they love. There's also a thing called True Dungeon, where you actually go in and participate in a type of adventure. I've never done that. I would like to get around to doing that one year. It actually took up the stadium this year, which this was the first year they moved into Lucas Oil Stadium across the street. They used that space for anime stuff and for True Dungeon. And it seemed like it really thinned the crowd out in the convention center. I thought it helped things out a lot. Next year is the one everyone's looking forward to, because next year will be the 50th anniversary of GenCon. And I look for it to be massive. They're talking about expanding up into the field part of the stadium. And I'm sure all around Indy will be even bigger participation by the restaurants and the bars. They all have good participation anyway, but they love GenCon there. But I think next year will be huge. And I'm looking forward to the games and the guests of honor that will probably be there next year. Like I said, GenCon was an amazing time, and I suggest if you get the chance, you should go. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You won't forget it, and you will be glad you went. I have been Shawn Sanquinetti, telling you about GenCon, and have a good time gaming, guys. Get yourself a GenCon. It'll be worth it, I promise.
Hi, it's Friday, August 12th. My name is Bill, and this is your Tech Minute. The next rumored iPhone 7 supposedly will not have an 1/8-inch headphone jack, and instead will utilize wireless Bluetooth earbuds, making the iPhone 7 lighter and thinner than it's ever been. Apple is also offering $200,000 for the public to report any iOS hacking vulnerabilities in its software. A private tech firm later said they would offer $500,000 for people to report those vulnerabilities to them instead. Drones have apparently been a problem at the Olympics. The military has bought jammers to block airwave signals over certain events, yet 3 were still seen over the opening ceremony, so it continues to be an ongoing problem for them. Sony has set a PlayStation event for September 7th, where it's expected to reveal an upgraded PlayStation 4 codenamed Neo. I'll have more information on that as soon as it's available. A fan from Scotland is suing DC and Warner Brothers over alleged false advertising from clips that were in trailers that didn't make it into the movie. It seemed a little bit silly to me,
It always seems like there's clips and trailers that you see that actually don't make it into the movie, yet they'll be in the director's cut or deleted scenes or something of the DVD. But I'm pretty sure DC and Warner Brothers have good lawyers, so that will be interesting to see how that turns out. I've been playing No Man's Sky lately on the PlayStation 4. It just released this Tuesday. I'm planning on writing a review for that, which will maybe be up on the site. I'm pretty addicted to it. It's a really good game. It's deep. It has a lot of stuff to do, and it's pretty immersive, so I've not been getting a lot of sleep. That's all I've been doing lately, is playing that game. Well, back to No Man's Sky. Thanks, guys. This has been your Tech Minute. My name is Bill.
Thanks, Shawn, and thanks, Bill, for that delve into different parts of entertainment and culture right there. I plan on heading up to GenCon with Shawn next year. I would also probably play No Man's Sky, but I don't have any device capable of playing that. But we really do appreciate you guys sending us in that information and catching us up on the current events in gaming, both digital and tactile. With that, we're going to go ahead and sign off. I appreciate you guys sticking with us, especially this week. It's a little bit of a different episode, giving everybody kind of a break week, and we will be back in a fortnight.